Every generation has a chance to create a legacy. For every generation, there is a moment that defines us. A moment when we have a choice about what our legacy will be, a test of our willingness to stand up for our values. Today is such a moment. Today, the Society for the Protection of New Hampshire Forests has an opportunity to defend the state's greatest assets, our scenic working landscape, from the biggest threat of our generation. The Forest Society is working with 4 landowners in New Hampshire's North Country to permanently protect more than 1,500 acres of forests, fields, and views through permanent conservation easements. The McAllister Farm, constituting 967 acres, including a working dairy farm, maple sugaring operation, and certified tree farm, lies on the slopes of Mudgett Mountain in Stewartstown. A hiking and snowmobile trail climbs to the height of land, offering views east to Dixville Notch and the famed Balsams Resort, west across Vermont, and south all the way to Mount Washington on a clear day.
My father was born and raised here, and he and his brother, my uncle, farmed together here their whole lives. And my grandfather was here before them his whole life, in a smaller way. We're here because we want to be here. You know, there's a big chunk of ground here that is pretty nice. So, no, we've made the decisions long ago. We want to hang on to it as long as, we can. And the thought of selling the Northern Pass isn't an option. I mean, if we sold, I'd want to move away. I wouldn't want to stay in the area. So there's no place I want to move to. I'd rather be here.
Along the ridge, just west of the McAllister Farm, lies another 500 acres owned by Greenacre Woodlands. The land rises upward to include much of the top of North Hill. The property's open lands offer scenic views out to all 4 points of the compass. Historically, the property is used heavily for hunting, and the easement will guarantee the public's ability to continue to hunt, hike, birdwatch, and engage in other recreational uses. A third property, abutting the southern boundary of the Balsams in Columbia, New Hampshire, connects the now protected Balsams landscape to the state's Nash Stream State Forest. The conservation easement on 300 acres will permanently protect more than a mile of frontage on Roaring Brook, which feeds the Mohawk River, which then flows into the upper Connecticut River. An additional 100 acres in 2 strategic parcels in Stewartstown are also under agreement. These properties are reflective of a broader scenic landscape that is one of New Hampshire's greatest assets. And yet, incredibly, there are those who would carelessly despoil it, and in doing so, threaten existing conserved lands across 180 miles of our state, including the White Mountain National Forest. Northeast Utilities and PSNH want to build a private, high-voltage transmission line for the exclusive use of Canada's mega-utility, Hydro-Quebec. 30 communities have voted to oppose the Northern Pass proposal. Thousands of individuals have made their feelings clear to the governor and other elected officials. Northern Pass, as proposed, is not welcome in New Hampshire.
Well, there just isn't a lot of good land left. It's been subdivided. There aren't a lot of large parcels left. There are some in the that belongs to the paper companies still, but it's not farmland. It's not open land. It can't supply food. Someday this country may decide that, a little food comes in handy. So far they don't really think about that, but what you've got is all you're gonna have as far as on earth, and it's time that some of it was kept and not ruined. And in my opinion, this power line is going to ruin a lot of land, not just mine if it goes. And it'll ruin land just because it's close to it. It won't be the same.
And yet they still persist, buying up forests and farms to convert to a power line corridor. Hydro-Quebec wants to export more than 4 times the power represented by the Northern Pass proposal. If we permit the corridor to be built, we can only expect more towers and power lines in the future. Today is the day to say no. Today is the day to create our legacy. These blocking actions clearly disrupt the intended route of the proposed Northern Pass project. And we continue to talk with other landowners who want to join our fight to permanently protect New Hampshire's scenic landscape. With your help, we can get another step closer to compelling Hydro-Quebec and Northeast Utilities to look for viable, less damaging alternatives to pursue their private commercial transmission project.
Hi, My name is Jack Savage with the Society for the Protection of Hampshire Forests. We need your help today to save this historic working landscape. The Forest Society has an opportunity to put a conservation easement on more than 1,000 acres of some of the North Country's most scenic lands. This easement would not only keep Northern Pass from despoiling this landscape, but it also helps stop them from putting more than 1,100 towers across 180 miles of the Granite State. Say yes to keeping New Hampshire's scenic landscape pristine and make a donation today. Thank you.
To make your donation to save our scenery and fight back against Northern Pass, visit our website at www.forestsociety.org/NP or call Suzanne Kibler-Hacker at 603-224-9945.